Hello friends, welcome to the Global Pulse. Well, a new report has emerged that Biden administration urged PM Modi not to visit Russia. As the time passes, so many such shocking news will surface, some secretly and some publicly. US President Joe Biden is angry with PM Modi's visit to Russia. Citing US administration sources, he claimed that Deputy Secretary Campbell had contacted Indian Foreign Secretary Vinay Kwatra in early July and hoped to postpone Modi's visit to Russia by a few days as it coincided with the timing of the NATO summit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi went on a two-day visit to Russia on July 8 and 9, where he and the Russian president held bilateral talks. The Washington Post, citing U.S. administration sources, claimed that Deputy Secretary Campbell had contacted Indian Foreign Secretary Vinay Kwatra in early July and hoped to postpone Modi's visit to Russia by a few days, which coincided with the NATO summit in Washington. He claimed that the U.S. administration was upset with PM Modi's visit to Russia during the NATO summit and had requested PM Modi to delay his visit to Russia for a few days in the midst of the NATO summit. According to some reports, senior officials of the Joe Biden administration are upset and furious that India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow, as President Biden was kicking off the NATO flagship summit in Washington this week that is presenting the challenges facing the United States, the Washington Post reported. The meeting in Moscow, held earlier this month, despite concerns raised to New Delhi by several senior administration officials, complicated optics for Washington, the Washington Post reported, citing multiple U.S. officials. The officials included Deputy Secretary of State Campbell, who had urged Foreign Secretary Vinay Kwatra in early July that the meeting between Modi and Putin should be avoided by the timing of the NATO summit. Below are the views and thoughts of us Indian citizens. Let us remind the whole world here that India is not Pakistan. India is not the puppet of the U.S. Indian citizens have elected this government and not the U.S. Those days of remote control government of Indian National Congress have long gone and evaporated in the air forever. We fully support our Prime Minister Narendra Modi and urge him to be stricter than before and show our true national power now. This is the right and the most ideal time to show our strength, bravery, and independence. This is our motherland, and we can do anything for the safety and sovereignty. Never bow down against anyone as far as national security is concerned. U.S. must look at its dirty foreign policies of the past. Those policies are still continued in modern sophisticated forms. Even after knowing that Pakistan is a rogue state and have lifetime enmity towards India ever since the formation, you have fully and blindly supported Pakistan with your weapons and finances. Pakistan was using those funding to create terror groups and fund them as much as they can to spread terrorism and kill innocent people in India. Unfortunately, we had timid and coward leaders in our governments of Congress at that time. Even former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has publicly confessed that the U.S. has created Al-Qaeda to fight the Soviets in Afghanistan. Thus the Americans are the mother of whole terrorism that the world experienced today. Since then, the terrorism has spread all across the globe, and we the Indians, along with so many innocent people on the planet, have lost their lives and still suffering because of your policies. American must remember that your own created devils are biting you now. You did not find a single dust particle of uranium in Iraq, and neither any single weapon of mass destruction. Still you attacked Iraq and killed innocent people in the name of establishing peace and stability. It is you Americans who attacked Vietnam. But it is the utter courage and strong willpower of the Vietnams that the American could not do anything and had to leave shamefully. It is the same American who attacked both Syria and Libya unlawfully. We still urge our Prime Minister Modi to be stubborn, harsh and aggressive towards both Pakistan and China. Both these countries must be taught a lesson of lifetime for once and forever. Why the U.S. was silent when the huge massacre was carried out by Pakistani-backed terrorists in Kashmir in the 1990s, where thousands of Kashmiri pundits were killed, raped and driven out of their own homeland to live the life of an uncertain future as refugees in their own country. Has anyone seen their own fellow poor citizens being homeless, living in heartbreaking refugee camps in their own country? This genocide is compared to the one carried out by the Nazis against Jews in the Second World War. Some experts compare the genocide of Kashmir more brutal and inhuman than Germany. Even after knowing so many facts, the US still helps Pakistan to upgrade their weapons with financial aid. Pakistan must be mercilessly wiped out, form the global map forever. Then the true peace will be established. Pakistani establishments know very well how to milk the Americans for their own cause rather than using the aid for the purpose it was allocated to. Thank you very much for watching. Always stay tuned for the latest news and updates from the globe. Goodbye and see you soon.